Welcome to our channel English Avenue. This is not just another video. This is a turning point. Because today, we're not just going to talk about speaking. We're going to talk about your fear, your self-doubt, and the one moment that changed everything for you. But you never spoke about it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had this moment? You're standing in front of people. Maybe in a class, a meeting, or even a casual conversation. And suddenly, someone asks you something. It's not a hard question. You know the answer. Your mind has the words, somewhere. But instead of speaking, you freeze. Your mouth doesn't move. Your hands get cold. Your mind goes blank. And all you hear is the sound of your own heartbeat, getting louder and louder in your chest. You smile nervously. You whisper something. And then, silence. Later that day, you keep thinking, why didn't I speak? Why didn't I say what I wanted to say? Why do I always mess up when it's my turn? You see, that moment, that 1 second where you lost your voice, that was not just an accident. That was a symptom of something deeper. And today, I want to tell you the truth. You're not alone. You're not stupid. And no, your English is not the problem. The real problem is this. No one taught you how to think fast under pressure. No one prepared you for the feeling of being watched. No one trained your brain to stay calm when it matters most. In fact, they did the opposite. You were judged for making mistakes. You were laughed at when you got something wrong. Think before you speak. Be careful what you say. Don't embarrass yourself. And so, slowly, you started believing that silence is safer than expression, that speaking is dangerous, that words will betray you. But let me ask you something powerful now. What if that moment didn't define you? What if that wasn't weakness but a wake-up call? What if you could train your brain to handle pressure, to stay sharp when it matters, and to speak with calm, clear confidence every time? Because the truth is, you have everything inside you already. The words, the thoughts, the emotions. But what you lack is the system to use them, and the courage to trust them. And that's what this video is going to give you. I'll tell you something in this video that no one ever taught you. Why you freeze while speaking, why you forget words, and how to finally think fast and speak smart in real English conversations. Let's begin. Part 1. Why you must think fast and speak smart. The 3 life-changing benefits. Let's begin with the truth. In today's world, your success doesn't just depend on how much you know. It depends on how fast you can think and how smartly you can speak. Whether it's a job interview, a business meeting, a podcast, a presentation, or a daily conversation, people remember how you made them feel and how clearly you spoke. That's why the ability to think fast and speak smart is no longer optional. It's a core life skill. And if you don't master it, someone else will speak faster, clearer, and take the opportunity that was meant for you. In this part, we're going to explore 3 life-changing benefits of mastering this skill. And I will break each one down for you step by step. Benefit 1. You create instant impact. Let's be honest. In the first 5 seconds of speaking, people decide who you are. That's right. 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, not 50 sentences. Whether you're in a meeting or meeting someone new, people make silent judgments. Is this person confident? Do they know what they're talking about? Do I trust their words? And those decisions are made before you finish your second sentence. So when you speak slowly, with hesitation, fillers, or too much thinking, people stop listening. But when you speak with clarity, confidence, and speed, you grab attention, you earn respect, and most importantly, you're remembered. For example, a tech startup founder walked into a pitch meeting with 4 investors. He had 5 minutes to present his idea. But instead of starting with numbers or slides, he said, "In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to tell you why your next investment will change the lives of 10 million people." That one sentence created instant silence in the room. Why? Because it was sharp, clear, and immediate. That's what speaking smart looks like. No filler, no fluff, just impact. And yes, he got funded. Not because he had the best app, but because he had the clearest voice in the room. Benefit 2. You stay in control under pressure. Pressure exposes weakness, but smart speaking under pressure demands control. Now think about this. You're asked a sudden question in a job interview. A client challenges your idea. You're called on stage unexpectedly. You're asked your opinion during a heated debate. In these moments, the person who thinks clearly and speaks calmly wins. Because most people crumble under pressure. They ramble, they panic, they talk too much or say nothing at all. But those who can think fast and respond smart, even with few words, take control of the moment. In a global leadership conference, the CEO of a Fortune 500 company was asked, "How do you manage failure when millions are watching your decisions?" He smiled and replied, "I don't manage failure. I manage my mindset, and mindset turns failure into feedback." The crowd applauded. The clip went viral. Why? Because in a moment of tension, he stayed calm, clear, and powerful. He didn't give a long speech. He gave a sharp thought. That's the difference between average speakers and unforgettable leaders. Thinking fast is not about talking fast. It's about choosing the right idea, right word, at the right time. And that comes with practice and control, not luck. Benefit 3. You become a leader. Without a title, in every group, every team, every company, there's always someone who doesn't wait for permission to speak. Someone who doesn't have a fancy title, but people turn to them because they explain ideas clearly. They ask the right questions. They communicate with calm and power. That's who you become when you think fast and speak smart. You don't need a promotion. You don't need to be a manager. Your communication becomes your leadership because people follow voices that make them feel clear, confident, and understood. Example. In one of the world's biggest consulting firms, during a strategy meeting, a young analyst, only 23, interrupted the boardroom discussion with a calm voice. "May I offer a simpler solution that saves 7 weeks of work?" He laid out his idea in 3 sentences. Silence. Then nods. Then one of the directors said, "This is the smartest thing we've heard in hours." That one moment changed his career. 6 months later, he was leading his own client accounts, not because of his position, but because of how he spoke. Part 2. Why you can't think fast or speak smart in English. 3 deep reasons. Before we improve, we must understand. If you've ever felt this before, you freeze during conversations. You forget simple words while speaking. You overthink before saying anything in English. Or you avoid speaking even when you want to say something. Then this part is for you. Because the problem is not just about not knowing enough English. It's deeper, psychological, practical, and fixable. So now, let me explain the 3 biggest reasons why most people can't think fast or speak smart in English, even if they've studied it for years. Reason 1. You're translating from your native language, not thinking in English. This is the most common trap English learners fall into. You may be thinking, I know the words, I know grammar, but I still can't speak fluently. That's because you're doing two tasks at once. 1. You think in your native language. 2. Then you try to translate into English before speaking. Now imagine this. You're standing in front of someone. They ask you a question. You first understand it in English, then translate it in your head to your native language, prepare an answer, and then translate it back into English again before speaking. That delay, that mental traffic, is what kills fluency. It's like trying to drive in two lanes at the same time. International diplomats, public speakers, and CEOs who operate in global English-speaking environments all say one thing. The moment you stop translating and start thinking in English, fluency begins. Because translation creates delay. Delay creates hesitation. Hesitation creates self-doubt. And self-doubt destroys confidence. If you want to speak smart and fast, you must train your brain to live in English, not pass through it. Reason 2. Your brain panics under pressure. Because you never practiced in real conversations. Most people study English in silence, alone, reading, watching, listening, memorizing. And that's useful, but incomplete. Why? Because real life doesn't give you time to prepare. Someone asks you a question unexpectedly. A client starts speaking fast. You're asked to introduce yourself in front of others. A job interview question hits you without warning. In those moments, your brain panics. Not because you don't know English, but because you've never trained your brain to perform under real-time pressure. Airline pilots don't just study aviation in a classroom. They spend hours inside flight simulators, where alarms ring, systems fail, and chaos is created on purpose. Why? Because they must learn to function under pressure, not just in theory, but in real time. That's what your brain needs. If you've only practiced English in silence or in safe environments, you haven't trained your mind to retrieve and deliver language when adrenaline is high. That's why your mind goes blank. Not because you forgot English, but because your brain doesn't trust that it's safe to speak it. Reason 3. You were taught to be grammatically perfect, not communicatively confident. In most countries, English learners are judged by their grammar. Mispronunciations are laughed at. Wrong answers are corrected publicly. And confidence is destroyed early. So you begin to think, if I make a mistake, people will laugh. If my grammar is wrong, I'll sound stupid. If I can't say it perfectly, I won't say it at all. And this mindset becomes a prison. You don't focus on what to say. You focus on how you'll be judged for saying it. Fluent communicators aren't perfect. The CEOs of top companies like Alibaba, Nissan, or even UN ambassadors, many of them speak with imperfect grammar, strong accents, or simple sentence structures. But they are respected because they speak with confidence, clarity, and courage. They don't pause to search for the perfect tense. They focus on getting the message across clearly, calmly, and powerfully. Grammar is important, but clarity is more important. If you're trying to speak smart, don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be understood. Part 3. How to think fast and speak smart. 6 powerful practical techniques. Until now, we've uncovered the problem. We've gone deep into why most people struggle to think fast and speak smart, especially in English. But now it's time for the solution. No motivational fluff, no basic surface-level advice. just real-world techniques that actually work and can transform the way you speak forever. So here are 6 powerful techniques used by confident professionals, world-class communicators, and highly respected speakers around the world to think clearly under pressure and speak smartly without hesitation. Let's go deep. Tip 1. Train your mind to think in English. One thought at a time. If you want to speak smart, you must first think clearly. And clear thinking doesn't happen when your brain is doing translation gymnastics from your native language to English. It happens when your thoughts are already in English, naturally, comfortably, automatically. But how do you do that? The technique. Micro-thinking in English. Stop trying to think in full sentences. Start by thinking in micro-thoughts, one piece of your environment at a time. Wherever you are, start naming your surroundings in English. I see a glass. There's a notebook. The fan is slow. My phone is on the table. I feel calm. These are not sentences for speaking. They are sentences for rewiring your mind. You are not learning English. You are reprogramming your inner voice to live in English. And when your thoughts are already in English, speaking becomes 10 times faster. Imagine this. There's a young architect named Daniel working in a German design firm. He's talented, skilled. His sketches are extraordinary. But there's a problem. The office speaks only English. Meetings are in English. Client presentations, English. Even lunch conversations, English. And Daniel? He knows English. He's studied it for 10 years. But every time he opens his mouth, something strange happens. His thoughts freeze. He starts the sentence in German in his head, then tries to translate it into English. But by the time the words come out, the conversation has moved on. He falls behind. Again and again. One day, during a team review, the lead architect says, "Daniel, you haven't shared your thoughts yet. Speak up." Daniel looks around. His hands are sweating. His heart is racing. He has ideas, brilliant ones, but his mouth won't move fast enough. He mumbles something. The moment passes. That night, Daniel walks home in silence. He tells himself, "I don't need better English. I need a better system. I need to stop translating. I need to start thinking in English." So the next day, he begins his transformation. Not by taking another grammar class, not by reading more books, but by doing something simple, powerful, and daily. He begins naming everything around him in English, out loud and in his mind. Red coffee mug, gray table, cold air. I'm walking past a bakery. The smell is sweet. I'm thinking about my next design. He breaks his day into tiny English thoughts. No translation, no pressure, just direct thinking. In micro-sentences. After 2 weeks, his brain starts adjusting. He no longer pauses between thoughts. He no longer struggles to describe feelings. He even dreams. In English. 30 days later. It's another team meeting. This time, Daniel speaks. I think we can approach this project with a balance between Scandinavian minimalism and Mediterranean color. We need simplicity, but not emptiness. The room listens, people nod, and the lead architect smiles and says, "That's the best idea we've heard today." What changed? Daniel didn't magically become fluent. He trained his brain to think in English, one thought at a time. And that gave his ideas speed, clarity, and flow. Tip 2. Practice real-time response drills. Most people speak fluently when they have time to prepare. But the real test is, can you respond smartly, instantly, and clearly, in the moment? This is where people freeze. Their mind knows the answer. but panic slows them down. Why? Because they've only trained in calm situations, never in response conditions. So here's the fix. The technique. Rapid response drills. Every day, take 5 minutes and practice this. 1. Ask yourself random questions. You can find them online or write them down. For example, what's your opinion on remote work? What's a skill you wish you had? How do you handle difficult people? 2. Give yourself 5 seconds max to begin answering. No time to plan. 3. Speak for 60 seconds. No pause, no retake. If you make a mistake, keep going. This trains your brain to handle pressure, think on its feet, choose the next best word, build momentum, not perfection. This is the same method used in Oxford and Cambridge speech tournaments. Students are given a question they've never seen before and must respond instantly on stage for 2 minutes. And you know what? They don't give perfect answers, but they speak with structure, confidence, and flow because they've trained their brain not to panic, but to move forward, fast. If elite students, lawyers, diplomats, and startup founders use this to sharpen their minds, you can use it too. Even 5 minutes a day can transform your ability to respond smart, speak fast, and sound confident. Tip 3. Use mental templates. Speak with structure, not stress. Let's face it. One reason people sound nervous is because their sentences are chaotic. They jump from one idea to another. They lose their point halfway. They speak in circles or say too much. So here's the solution. The technique. Mental templates. A mental template is a pre-built structure you can use to speak smart, even if your mind is racing. Let's go over 3 universal mental templates that instantly make your speech sound smarter in meetings, interviews, or casual conversation. Template 1. Point why example. This is the most powerful structure for explaining any idea clearly. Point. Say your opinion directly. Why? Support it with logic or reasoning. Example. Share a real-world or relatable example. Example prompt. Do you think social media is good or bad? Point. I believe social media is powerful but dangerous. Why? Because it connects us, but it also creates false comparisons. Example. For example, many people feel depressed when they see others living perfect lives online, even though most of it isn't real. This structure works everywhere, in interviews, presentations, or debates. Template 2. Past problem lesson. This is a great way to answer storytelling-based questions. Past, share the situation, problem, highlight the challenge or failure. Lesson, end with what you learned or how you improved. Example. Prompt. Tell me about a challenge you faced. Past. Last year, I led a team project with a 7-day deadline. Problem. Halfway through, we lost 2 team members and had to restart our plan. Lesson. I learned how to delegate, stay calm, and communicate under pressure. And we still delivered on time. This gives your speech flow, depth, and emotional strength. Template 3. 3-point answer. When you're unsure, this structure saves you. Say, I have 3 thoughts on that. Then give 3 short, simple points. It sounds organized, it gives you momentum, and it buys your brain time to think between points while sounding smart. Why templates work? Because structure reduces stress. When you don't have to create everything from zero, your brain can relax. You already know where to begin, how to move forward, and how to end. And that's what gives you the ability to sound calm, sharp, and confident. Fast. Tip 4. Master the pause, breathe, deliver. Technique. When most people try to speak fast, they actually speak messy. Their words race ahead of their thoughts. They run out of breath. They forget what they were saying halfway through. But confident communicators use pauses, not to slow down, but to gain power. The pause is not weakness. It is a secret weapon. The technique: pause, breathe, deliver. Whenever you feel your mind racing or your sentence getting messy, pause for just 1 to 2 seconds. Take a breath. Gather your next idea. Then deliver the next sentence. Slow, clear, sharp. In global leadership forums like TED Talks, the most powerful speakers don't speak the fastest. They speak with timing. They say one sentence, then pause. Let it land. Then they continue. And the audience stays fully engaged. Why it works? Because the brain needs time to catch up. When you pause, you gain control, reduce filler words, think before you speak, and sound far more confident. This technique is especially powerful in interviews and meetings. Instead of rushing your answer, say, "That's a great question." Pause. Then continue. You'll look calm, thoughtful, and composed, even if you were nervous a second ago. Practice this daily with your speaking drills. Your speed will stay high, but your clarity will be unstoppable. Tip 5. Use keyword anchoring to stay focused while speaking. One of the biggest reasons people lose track while speaking is mental drift. They start strong, then lose their point halfway. Why? Because they don't have mental anchors while speaking. So here's the solution, the technique: keyword anchoring. Before you answer anything, identify 3 keywords in your mind that capture your message. These keywords are your mental GPS. They keep your thoughts in line, prevent you from going off topic, and help your speech stay structured, even if you're nervous. How to practice. Let's say someone asks, "What's the best way to build good habits?" You quickly choose 3 keywords: consistency, simplicity, environment. Now you speak around those. In my view, the key to building habits is consistency. Second, they must be simple, easy to start and repeat. And finally, your environment should support the habit. These 3 things make habits stick. No script, no hesitation. Just 3 anchored ideas, connected clearly. Top-level speakers like political leaders and brand CEOs are trained in message anchoring. They repeat key terms throughout their speech to keep the audience engaged and to avoid going blank. Because when pressure is high, memory drops. But if your brain holds 3 clear points, it always knows where to go next. This strategy is excellent for interviews, presentations, or difficult conversations. Tip 6. Use visual thinking to speed up your brain. Many people struggle to find words because they try to build sentences in their head, word by word. That slows down the brain and causes stress. But high-level communicators use something different: visual thinking. They don't see words. They see images. The technique: visualize your sentence before speaking. Let's say you want to describe a story, an idea, or an opinion. Don't build the grammar first. See it in your mind, like a movie. Then describe what you see. For example, instead of thinking, I need to say, "Last week I went to a restaurant with my family and we had dinner there." You picture it. You see your family walking in. You see the table. You see the food. You feel the atmosphere. Then you speak. "Last week, I went to a restaurant with my family. We had dinner, warm lighting, calm music, and the best pizza I've had all year." It's natural, it's rich, It flows because your brain is painting, not typing. Why it works. Visual thinking removes grammar stress. It frees up your brain's memory, and it lets you focus on expression, not perfection. Most fluent speakers are not building sentences from grammar rules. They're speaking from mental movies. That's why their words feel alive, fast, and confident. If you've stayed with me through this journey, you've already taken the most important step. You didn't click away. You didn't look for shortcuts. You chose to understand your voice deeply. And now, you're not the same person who started this video. You've learned the science of fluency. You've learned the psychology of pressure. You've learned the structure, the drills, the real-world strategies. But now it's time to bring all of that into your real life. Because at the end of the day, your voice doesn't live in a notebook. It doesn't live in a mirror. It lives in the world. And this is the moment you choose to use it. Let's face the truth one last time. You've waited long enough. You've studied the rules. You've collected vocabulary. You've watched hundreds of videos, silently. You've written your thoughts down and deleted them before anyone could read. You've had things to say, but no confidence to say them. You've lost moments, opportunities, relationships, even self-worth. All because of one thing. Fear. Not fear of English. Fear of judgment. Fear of not sounding right. Fear of being laughed at. Fear of making a mistake. But tell me this. What has that fear ever given you? What has silence ever rewarded you with? Regret? Shame? Loneliness? You don't need that anymore. Now it's your time to speak. When you begin to think fast and speak smart, something incredible happens. People stop interrupting you. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself. Your voice becomes calm, focused, magnetic. You say exactly what you mean. And people listen. You don't over-explain. You don't panic. You don't search for words. Because you finally trust your mind to deliver what matters. This doesn't just change how you speak. It changes how people see you. It changes how you see you. You walk into a room differently. You sit in meetings differently. You raise your hand. You hold eye contact. You say, "Let me share something." And you do. Not because you're the loudest, but because you're finally free. From today onward, you don't wait for permission. You don't wait until your English is perfect. You don't wait for someone else to validate your voice. You build your voice like a muscle, day by day. You practice 5 minutes of speaking every morning. Train with pressure, not just peace. Think in English, one small thought at a time. Speak with mental structure, not emotional panic. Use silence as strength. Choose clarity over complexity. And remember, perfection is a trap. Progress is the goal. If you still feel afraid, it means you care. It means your voice matters to you. It means you're standing on the edge of a new identity. And your old self is scared to let go. But let me say this. You do not need anyone's permission to evolve. You do not need a certificate to be confident. You do not need a perfect sentence to be powerful. You just need to speak, again and again and again, until your silence becomes your story, until your doubt becomes your strength, until one day you look back and say, "That video was the day I began." Because this was never just about English. It was about you, your self-respect, your confidence, your dreams, your ability to show up, speak up, and take your place in the world. You were never afraid of English. You were afraid of being seen. But now you are ready. There will be people smarter than you. There will be people with better vocabulary, better grammar, more years of education. But there is one thing no one else has: your voice, your perspective, your story, your words. And the day you decide to stop hiding it is the day your life changes. So speak. Speak when you're tired. Speak when you're nervous. Speak when your voice shakes. Speak when your hands sweat. Speak when you forget the words. Speak anyway. Because fluency is not born from silence. It is built through effort. And starting today, you are building it. One sentence, one challenge, one bold, beautiful moment at a time. If this video spoke to you, if it helped you feel understood, prepared, and more confident, then don't keep it to yourself. Let it be the beginning of your journey. Subscribe, not just for more videos, but for more growth, more strength, and more belief in your voice. I'll be here, with you, every step of the way. Until then, think fast, speak smart, and never be silent again. Take care, and goodbye.